Okay, so hopefully this is working. Welcome to my channel. I need to turn my volume off. I'm going to go by the name Gamey McFitness. Where the heck is my headphones? Starting off on a rocky start here. So I was going to plan all this out with notes and everything. I decided to just wing it. So I'm just going to give a little intro to this channel here. You can see, you can see, let me scroll this down a bit. I don't know. You can hardly see, but I'm on a treadmill here, and what I do is as a hobby is I build these game controllers to play video games on exercise equipment. And so that's what the channel is going to be about. So right now I'm on the treadmill. I have a video game controller that I built into the handles using PVC pipe and stuff. And I built next to me, I'm going to show it in a minute, I have a exercise bike that I built the game controller into. And my goal is to exercise playing video games because I hate exercise. I just think it's insanely boring, especially like gym, like fitness equipment type exercise. I think I'm going to go on a little rant about like gyms and like exercise machines. I think it's like it's a failure of human imagination to expect people to just stand there, stare at a wall, and exercise for an hour. Like, why can't you be doing something more entertaining? Like, the human mind isn't built for that, such a lack of stimulation, especially when you're doing something unpleasant. And so I think that gyms are like masochistic and horrible, and I'm trying to remedy. I want to exercise. I want to be motivated to exercise, and so playing video games while I exercise, I think, is a great way to do it. And so that's what this channel is about. And my goal is to play not like mini games that you get bored with after like a few days of using it. Like, I want to play the game that I would be playing if I wasn't exercising. So I built these game controllers to be able to play. One of them works with the Xbox, pretty much any model of the Xbox, and the other one works with a PC to play Steam games, and it's got the same buttons as a normal controller to play like any game you want to, any normal game, like Grand Theft Auto or Assassin's Creed or whatever, Among Us, whatever people play. I tend to like the RPG single players like Fallout and Assassin's Creed, and then like adventure games, Tomb Raider, stuff like that. I also play a lot of indie games. So I'm going to mix it up, playing different types of games on this speed. And also some of the games, it doesn't make sense depending on which exercise machine I'm using. Like this one, the treadmill, my upper body is moving, so it's really hard to like aim, like to snipe. Like a shooting game would be really hard to play on the treadmill, but the exercise bike, you're pretty stationary, so I think I should be able to play pretty much any game on the exercise bike. I'm also building more over time, I'm going to make these game controllers, homemade game controllers, better and add them to more fitness equipment. I've already started building a third thing for a rowing machine, a game controller for a rowing machine, which I think is going to look really over the top, silly, and interesting. I don't know how good you'll be able to play the game, but I'm excited about it. That's probably a few weeks from being done. And I bought all the equipment to put a game controller into a jump rope. So yeah, I just want to go from machine to machine, to go and see how easy it is to play the games. And another thing is that well, I forgot what I was going to say. We'll see how I'm able to do a bunch of things at once, and if I'm going to fall down or whatever. So why would you want to watch this channel? Well, hopefully I can motivate people to get into this same thing, like fitness exercise. So maybe if you want to get motivation to work out and whatnot, you might be inspired by me. And also, I'm putting like my start weight and my current weight on the bottom of the screen. So I'm going to track my fitness level, and so hopefully my fitness level will improve over time, and also the quality of these game controllers will improve over time. And I'm going to show some of the Twitch streams are going to be me just playing the games. The game will be on the main part of the screen. It won't be the side view. I just have this side view video because I want to just give a brief showing of what the game controller fitness machines look like in a minute. And then I'll switch it to the game. But yeah, I want to have some feeds that actually play games and some feeds which show, like, I want to go in detail on how I built things, like where I bought the stuff, why I built it the way I did, how much did it cost. And so maybe I can help people build stuff. Maybe people will build better fitness controllers and have other ideas, and can help me, oh, this part would be better, and this is where you can buy it. And maybe we can start a group if people are interested, people playing the same game while using the same fitness machine. That would be cool. So my goals of this channel are a little open-ended to see like what people want to see, but the primary focus is, yeah, I'm going to be exercising and playing video games at the same time. And I did look on Twitch. I didn't see that much of that. I was surprised. I thought it would be a popular thing already. Maybe some of it's out there. I don't know. But yeah, the other thing is the channel is for. It's not, obviously, I'm not expert level genius. I'm not Mark Rober. I'm not like the Martha Stewart or the Michael Jordan of fitness or of building fitness controllers. So what I'm doing, you can probably copy relatively easy. And I'll, like the Xbox one especially, because basically it just involved plugging things in. The one for the PC, I had to do some actual coding. But I think you could do it if you've ever taken like a robotics class or an entry-level programming class, even the high school level. I think you can do it, what I did. So yeah, I'm hoping I can inspire people to, entry-level people to do this, fitness gaming. So that's the point of the channel. So I guess right now I'll just give a little better view of the game controllers. I'm going to get off the treadmill for a second. I have to take the headphones out of my ears, but I thought I could see the Twitch comments once the Twitch feed started, so if somebody's there and who's commenting, but I don't see them. So right now I'm still learning how all this stuff works. So if someone's there and I'm not responding, it's because I didn't set everything up right. But yeah, so, okay. So this here is it's called a VIR Zoom exercise bike. I bought it a few years ago from Amazon. I think it's out of production. I don't think you can buy them anymore. And it had a game controller already on it, and it had these 4 buttons on the top, and then I think it might have had a trigger on the bottom. And it came with some, maybe I should try to be in frame. And this came with some video games, like mini games, and you actually played them with in VR, so you had to wear the VR headset. It came with like 4 games. One was like a bicycle game, obviously. One was like a tank game, which was the best one because you could actually play against real people and like shoot. It was like a game where you could die, and there was a like a car racing game, which sucked. That's another thing about these game controllers is the actual exercise right now doesn't affect the game, because my goal isn't to replicate the Wii or whatever. I want to play the best games while I'm exercising. I don't necessarily care if me pedaling faster makes my character in the game go faster. In fact, I kind of don't like that because I'm out of shape and I would always lose if I was playing against other people who were fitter, or I would just get tired super quick. Like, I don't want to push myself to the limit in the game. I just want to get exercise playing a game, and not even really realize I'm exercising. So that was my goal. It might be a little different than other people's goals, but my goal is, yeah, to just get exercise and use games as a bridge to help me get exercise, not to become the fastest bicycler who can whip everybody else in a racing game. But the mini games with this, the pedaling did affect the game, the 4 mini games. But anyway, it only had a limited controller. So what I did is I took the bottom half of it off, and I added buttons to make it look like an Xbox or Steam controller. Have all of the buttons, including like select, start here. And so how this works is, I should probably be looking at the camera more. I'll get better at this, I suppose. So how this works, I built this box too, is inside this box there's an Xbox adaptability controller, it's called. You can buy them off I didn't find them on Amazon, but you can buy them off the Microsoft website. It's like $100, and it's for building custom game controllers for handicapped people mainly. But I'm using it to build a custom game controller to exercise with. Yeah, so it's a big rat's nest of wires here, but basically all of the buttons just plug in. Like, each button is like a separate plug on the top of this thing, and then it Bluetooth pairs to the Xbox. You can supposedly use it for the PC too, but I had some problems that I haven't worked through. It didn't work right. Like, when I hit the X button on the PC, it would take focus out of the game, so nothing I pressed would affect the game anymore. But it does work great for the Xbox. But I'm not going to show that today, because every time I open this and close it again, usually one of the wires comes undone, so I've got to debug that. So I'm just today going to show this one actually working, the treadmill one. So I'm just gonna show. So that's the one that I made for the treadmill. So it's a little microcontroller. It's called an ESP32, I think. It's Arduino compatible. Arduino is one of the hobby, that and Raspberry Pi are the two hobby type electronics things. And so I wrote a little code for it, but it's basically the same thing. It's like all of the buttons are going to one of the pins, the game buttons. So, and the handle is built out of PVC pipe. So there's some wires running through the handle. I got the PVC pipe idea. I built this as part of the Mark Rober Creative Engineering course that costs like $200 or something. I took it in January this year. You can sort of build your own projects. And so one of the projects I built was this game controller here. So yeah, I think that's enough of that. So let me hook the main video to the PC to show playing the game. That takes a minute, so bear with me. Plugging in the cable. It's gonna take me 5 minutes just to plug in a stupid cable. Okay. Is it still streaming? Am I still on? Well, I think my connection must be horrible here. I don't know if the audio is going through. So I have everything connected. It's just okay, this is a disaster, but let me just run with it anyway. Okay, so the way I do it is there's a battery here for the game controller, and it connects to this program that you can download called X360CE. And what this does is it converts the, I'm not going to show this normally. This is just me showing how it works as to start. The next time I stream, I'm just going to jump right into the game. But what this does is it converts the Bluetooth game controller inputs into like a Xbox type game controller inputs. And it doesn't always start right away. But I can do this to make sure all of the buttons are still working, because once it connects, you'll see that when I hit the A button here, it'll show up. See? By the way, I think I'm going to move and my connection will be better, because this is a disaster. It's at least 10 seconds behind. So A, B, X, Y, bumper, trigger, D-pad down, up, left, right, bumper, trigger, and then the two, pressing the button, pressing. So okay, so the buttons are working. That's how you can test it before you start your game. Why is my goddamn Bluetooth not working? I thought this would go a little better, but work in progress, I guess. Where's my other mouse? This is crap. So anyway, now that the controller is working and connected, I can start Steam. Another thing I haven't talked about is on the bottom of the screen. You should be able to see my heart rate in, it says game, Kena Bridge of Spirits, shows how far I've walked, it shows my weight. You might have to the window to see that, because I don't see it. Yeah. Okay. So I found, so I'm actually going to use the Epic Store, but I found that I had to launch the Epic Store through Steam in order to get the buttons to work. Yeah, the whole thing is a mess here. The lag. I might have to do this at like 2 in the morning to get good connection where I'm living right now. I actually think because during the whole virus thing, I rented out a space in a relative's house, and that's where I'm living now. And so I'm gonna keep renting out a room in the house, and then I'm gonna get my own apartment. So as I build these exercise machines and I run out of places to put them, I'll have some of them here and some of them at my new apartment, and hopefully I could figure out a time of day where this works here, because this is awful. It might actually be working, it's just super lagged. I don't know. I'm new to this. The other thing, I don't really know all the Twitch conventions. I haven't been watching it that much, so I don't know if anybody's gonna care about this at all. But we'll see. But yeah, I'm sort of proud of these ugly machines and that they actually work at all. And I think that hopefully people want to do this. They want to get in shape. They're too unmotivated to get in shape, just like me. If I get So this is like the best. The only thing I like about gyms is if you take like a class and there's a social aspect to it. Everything else is horrible. Like you have to drive there. You have to maybe wait for a machine. You're watching like a TV that's like under 30 inches. Like do they even sell those anymore? And then you're watching like cable TV with commercials. Like no Netflix or anything. At least this is when I went to the gym last time a few years ago. It's like a slap in the face how little they regard making things nice for you in a gym. It's like movie theaters were like that too. They didn't care at all about, like, you didn't even have your own cup holder. And then like a couple years ago they finally decided, okay, movie theater seats, let's make them recline. Let's give everybody at least one cup holder. It's like they could have done that years ago, but they chose not to because they just didn't care at all about the consumer experience. And that's where I think gyms are right now. They're just so awful. Like, who watches commercials in 2021? It's like old-timey hotel TV too. It's not even full cable. It's like 30 channels, like one HBO. Like, how can you even buy one HBO? Like, where do they even get that from? It's insane. Gyms are just awful. And at half the time, the TV's not even lined up with the machine, so you're looking to the side. And if somebody's exercising there, it looks like you're staring at them. It's all yeah, I've played this game for a while. And it isn't the best game to play with a treadmill. You do shoot a bow, so you are aiming, which is hard to do while you're walking. But I put it on the easy level. Normally I would maybe play a game on the normal or hard level. But because I'm on an exercise machine, it just doesn't make sense to do that. talk about like futuristic tiny houses, and there's a lot of ideas that media thing, so that your friends can filter your posts before you post them, so you don't. So I'm gonna call it quits for the day. Thanks for tuning in. If you tuned in, good night. And I can't exit gracefully. I have to awkwardly exit after I say goodnight, like 30 seconds later, because I have to walk over there to shut it off.